shifting in here.
What is your shift?
I posted it. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? Oh, did you start recording?
Well, I mean, that's just, I'm getting ready to set X up. So
you don't have a remote to your
No.
Okay.
Whoops.
Wait, did it turn off?
No.
No, what? Don't save. I don't know what this is. Why does it keep trying to do that? Oh, let me do. Oh, it says I'm connected to Wi-Fi here. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Because last time when I tried to do the chip and put it in my computer, it was taking forever to save from the little chip.
Oh.
And I have a bigger one that I wanted to bring to just. But I'm wondering if I can just record it just straight to my computer.
Let's see. All right, I'm gonna
Go ahead, yeah. This one.
Right. Hey, you guys, it's Audra Morgan, Eye of the Storm. I'm here with Natalie, and we're going to be doing her podcast, What's Your Shift, again. So stay tuned. We're just finishing setting up, and we'll get going here in a second.
I don't know. Is the red light on? No, no red light.
Nope.
Oh, that's like a Mevo, right? Let's see.
So yeah, we're getting ready to do What's Your Shift
I think I've told the
podcast.
Well, we can start.
I'm just trying to keep people.
Yeah, we can start talking.
Why not?
So, did you look up the gentleman that had the police come to his home?
Oh, I know him.
Or not come? Did they come? Did you look up where he says? I don't know if they came to his home, or they gave him a phone call. That just kind of threw me.
Right.
Threw me for
Where is it?
because it came up on my feed.
Okay, so.
And that's local.
I mean, it says SDPD has resources to investigate my post, but not the sexual assault on my brother at the nursing home.
Oh, I think his mother.
Surreal.
His mother, I think.
Yeah, but so they were saying that they're basically watching him.
Uh-huh.
I guess we could listen to it.
I wonder. Yeah, go ahead. I wonder.
I'm a little alarmed at what just happened. So I got a message from San Diego Police Department, returned their call, and I thought it'd be about some of the open cases, like my mother being sexually assaulted at the nursing home, her being robbed, maybe one of the homeless people that assaulted me. No, this was about a Twitter post of mine. In which case I thought I was clearly being ironic and satirical, especially considering I live nowhere near what these guys are talking about. So, I don't know. Just alarming, let you guys know, San Diego Police Department, forget all the crime that's exploding all over San Diego, the corruption that's rampant, the fraud, the gas lamp just being absolutely destroyed by fights, drugs, the whole 9 yards. But I'm glad they had time to investigate a Twitter post of mine. That's all I got, you guys. But you've all been warned now. San Diego Police Department has a team that is investigating online activity. I think that San Diego Police Department resources are probably better used going after the obvious blatant crime that's right in front of all of our faces every single day in all of our neighborhoods. They could easily walk our streets and clean up with the crime that's going on. But hey, you know what? Please focus on a former San Diego lifeguard who likes to write satirical posts and wants a clean and safe San Diego. But says San Diego looks the way it does for a reason. Good luck,
Yeah,
everybody.
it does. The funny thing is,
So I want you to watch this video of Joe.
So I'm-
it was on the phone, but I will say that they have had that in play for probably some time, and because I've had so I used to contact the police department prior to, it was like an actual detective that dealt with First Amendment exercises, and then they put it into a different category, and I can't remember what it was like. I gotta think about that, but it was some kind of task force, like intelligence or something like that, that they were having me called to set up events with. But anyway, so they used to come and they would show up and would block the streets for us to have our, marches or whatever. And eventually they kind of just dwindled out and stopped coming, even though they kept getting overtime to do it. And for whatever reason they stopped. Well, a little while later, when I was doing these border machine tours where I was taking people to different places to show them the invasion that was happening, they wound up showing up at one of my events, and I was like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, well, we saw online, so they watch my social media,
Yeah.
right? And so they're using it in a different way there, but they showed up, and so I was like, all right, well, I mean, if you guys are here, you might as well just escort us around where we need to go.
Yeah.
So they did, which was funny, but it's like, I mean, I was like, what are you guys watching my social media?
Well,
and this was like a year and a half or 2 years ago at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now they're getting probably more in depth with it, and that's just maybe watching it, who knows, to see.
I
But
wonder what was the post was that got
I
him
know.
a phone call, or if it was, well, he said tweeted, so it had to have been something posted on X,
I
correct?
know, yeah, well, I'm wondering, if he's even put it on there, but I need to reach out to him,
Yeah,
because I can ask and be like, what was it? I'd like to even do an interview with him
Yeah.
about it, because it's like, they, especially, so remember the city brought in, just push it down on the way or whatever, brought in that anti-Semitic,
Yeah, I didn't go
item.
to that, and I didn't even know it was
Right.
wasn't paying attention.
But the way they were talking about it was like, these, well, was it that one or the Muslim one? Shoot. I can't remember, but I feel like they would enmesh them both. But talking about how there's influencers online who, spread misinformation per se. I think this was about the Muslim or the Somali daycares, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they were acting like, and so when I was there and I'm documenting it, this one woman, as they're leaving, she's taking pictures of me. So they made me an enemy of that when I was like, oh, what? I'm here at the meeting. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? And
right, refocused on this person that
but
has
yeah,
colored
because of the
hair
way they
that's
were
red-
talking
right.
though, saying that these journalists, these independent, so we need to kind of reel them in type of stuff. So I'm like, I feel like that's the kind of stuff they would use
Right.
this task force for, to go in and look and make sure, because even with the anti-Semitic stuff, they were talking about basically, putting people on a list to, if you're going to be saying bad things, that we need to do something about it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, that's not fair. I'm like, so basically I'm going to be put on a list because you guys don't agree with what I'm saying, because I'm saying that a moil, who is, sucking a baby's penis and doing a satanic ritual because he's sucking the blood out of the baby's penis, that's anti-Semitic.
Right.
No, that's
Right.
anti-pedophilia.
Right.
They just happen to be Jewish.
Right.
So you want to paint a certain picture and look at and demonize what I'm saying, because it's true and that that's a problem, and people sit there and allow it to happen.
Well, and the detail is not being said as how you're saying it, and children shouldn't be listening to the things that adults are listening to. So I think they try to tippy-toe around.
Well, sure, they can use that kind of
Language.
this, sure.
Right. Well, and also it benefits them to tippy-toe around the language of, because you're saying it straight to exactly what it is,
Well, I'm not going to
But that doesn't,
sugarcoat it.
right, and that doesn't make you an
No,
So,
but they
yeah.
use that. That's
Right.
what they use to target people. So that is something that they would use on the
Right, to get you on a watch list, or
to start looking at you and say we're watching you
Yeah.
and try and intimidate you and
Right.
make you feel like you shouldn't be speaking that way.
Right.
When free speech, it's like I talk about free speech platforms, but
Right.
it's like none of that is, because they're always silencing it. Especially like if you're not, staying within their box of, requirements or.
I didn't hit record, but
Oh,
you're recording it.
yeah.
I'm gonna hit
They didn't. Do you want to start it?
Yeah, we can still talk because yours is going live anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's still going. But so it's just sad because I saw that coming in with the anti-Semitic thing. Then when they were doing that with the Somali daycare, which I was like, I mean, I get that none of these people here are engaged in the fraud, but what you're negating to admit is that there was fraud that was happening.
Mhm.
And the government is complicit in it. And I find that to be the problem, is like, no, not just the Somalis should be, the target of that, but they should all be as one, because they're all complicit. But it's like they didn't get the money without the government giving it to them. And it was they're the perfect, like, of course somebody's going to engage in something like that if they know they're going to make money, right? It's like, it's just, money's, the love of money is the root of all evil. So they'll do that just because they know they're going to get funding. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, you're just, but they told them to do it. So it's like, I feel like the government is more complicit, because it's like, you guys set them up to be the patsy. It's just like the invasion, when that happened, it was like, everyone's looking at, we need to deport these people. I'm like, okay, sure, there's that. But you need to look at the people that incentivize them to come.
Right.
And instead of doing that, you want to just like make these people the scapegoat and be
Right.
like, oh my gosh, get them out here. I'm like, no, because all these people that like encourage that, the people that traffic the children and
Right.
basically traffic these people, this was a huge, right in your face, human trafficking event for years. And it's like, and they just all under the guise of people seeking asylum. And it's like, it's so negligent because, of what happened, you know what I mean? And it's like, you can't even talk about it like that.
Right. And which doesn't make any sense, because if you're not guilty or, participating in it, what do you care what somebody else is saying?
Right.
Even if you were claiming that and people did the research and there was nothing to research, then why would they care what you said? I mean, do you have
Well,
that
sure,
much
but-
power?
Well,
Right.
you're right. No,
Right.
right. Well, and also, like, but think about what you said, too. At one point, you came to me and you were like, all these NGOs making money off of them leaving, right? And I was like, they made money off of them coming in. And that's the funny thing, is that nobody focused on that. I would try and tell people, like, especially on the left, and it would be like, they had never gone down to the border and seen what was going on. You know what I mean? So whatever they're being told, they're taking that and just running with it. But it's like, if they that should have pissed them off, that they were being exploited on the way in,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So it's like coming in and coming out. So that's what they should look at our public officials for, to go, why did you do that? You're still exploiting them on the way out
And
while they're here.
and how deep? Here, let me start recording.
Yeah.
How's it going? This is Natalie. What's your shift? I have the storm here. I haven't recorded in a long time. We've already started
Hello.
conversating. We're talking about local,
Just politics. I don't know.
an experiences that are happening in San Diego. As in, a gentleman that she knows was just had a phone call from the police for tweeting something. It's interesting. I've heard these things happen in other tweets on X.
Yeah.
But I hadn't heard of anybody being approached or called for any tweets here locally in San Diego. So
I mean, I heard about things from them getting calls, like, from the FBI due to January 6th, but outside of that, nothing like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it makes you wonder how many other people it's happened to that haven't said anything. You know what I mean? That aren't or don't have a platform that everybody, like, more people are going to see.
Right.
I
I didn't even think about that. That people, or they're not, like you said, saying anything out in public that they were contacted about.
Right.
Because there's algorithms.
Well, maybe they're scared.
Right.
Because they were intimidated, and they're like, oh my gosh, well, if I say anything, then they're going to come after me even more. You know what I mean? Like, they came after me for an X post, so if I post on X or some other platform, I'm sure they're using other platforms, because that's one thing and I don't know if they're just like monitoring their platforms, but I do know they have technology. When you start to pay attention to all this stuff they have, they can take your phone and take all that stuff off of it.
Right.
So they're doing it. Do they have that technology to use your phone number and do it? I don't know.
Right.
Or are they just having someone like what they were doing with me, just watching, like monitoring your account?
Or trigger words or words that you're posting to get you to start watching. And so is there, now that I think about it, well, I think he said that there's someone now in charge of monitoring San Diego posts, or where does that come down from?
Well, I mean, that's from the San Diego Police Department, so it's probably one of their intelligence ones. I got to remember what this department was. At the last one, they wanted me to call for this to get an escort in the street. They didn't wind up doing it, but I thought it was interesting of unit, the task force or whatever it was, because it was like basically an intelligence gathering one, and it was for like events, and I was like, that's interesting what you're calling it, because you're basically saying that you're gathering information at these places, you know what I mean, like by it being in this particular department,
right?
Which I thought was really weird. So I need to find that out, and then I'll bring that up again at some point. But I want to do a records request, to see more about this. Like, tell us about this department. How much money is being allotted to this program per se? Is this a test run? Like, is this just a pilot program that you have, or have you been doing it for a while? And how many officers are used in this, and like what does it entail? Like, what technology are you using to collect this data? Is it a person? Is it a program? Are you using AI?
And so who do you request that from the police? Or are you going to go to the city, or do you think that should be brought up at city council or the county? Sure. That we've recently come across that somebody's saying that they were contacted by the police department, and so that should be.
Hopefully he comes in, even, you know what I mean, when they resume. I'm hoping he does, but I mean, regardless, we should bring it up, and I'm going to, but I want to know, was this implemented after that anti-Semitic
How long have they?
Yeah, I mean, but if it's new, it would make sense. It's only been a couple of months, a few months. So if it's a few months old, and they were saying, how are we going to, because they kept saying, like, that's what they were saying, how are we going to, implement this? How are we going to be able to see what people are doing, whatever, right? And so it's like, well, this could have been it. And I think that And
is it part of the law where they have to disclose that? I guess we all know. That's a violation of freedom of the press, though. Right. That's in our First Amendment. Right. To contact him and say what? That's why I'm curious of exactly what was said to.
I know. And what was it about?
Right.
It'd be interesting if it was about something about Israel, or who knows.
Right, because he didn't repeat it.
No, he didn't.
And
for good reason, evidently. I mean, that's why I need to.
I'm super curious.
Reach out to him and see.
And so recently, I think just yesterday, I don't have very many followers, and that doesn't matter. That's nor here nor there. But putting information out there at least makes me like it's out there in the universe. And so yesterday I started posting, and I don't have the blue check mark, so can only post so many words. So I started taking pictures instead of typing, what I wanted to post, like taking pictures of the word, a Word
and
document.
And then you can make it one post.
But so I'm doing timelines of HUD. Like, it's like, what are we going to be get that phone call for? Like, what is the criteria for me to maybe get a phone call or not? Because I went down on a timeline, and it's showing where each year and who was president or who was in charge of what, showing accounts of where they messed up, and no accountability. Nobody was prosecuted. Never people found guilty. A big huge one was the Reagan administration. I mean, billions, and because I'm talking about the homeless population, and that HUD has created this epidemic of what we would say homeless people. So is that going to get me a phone call for?
I mean, who knows?
Do you
Like,
know?
what is there? I wonder if they have like a list of things.
Right.
Like, you can't talk about Israel. You can't talk about Somali daycares. You can't talk about like LGBTQIA plus pedophiles. You can't talk about.
Well, even if you talk about it, they're using that as this hateful speech.
No, that's
right?
what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
these are the list of things that they have to look out for. Is basically what I mean. Like, you know, it's probably not so ambiguous that it's like they get to decide. I'm sure there's some guidelines for them, so that it's like, okay, if it falls under this, you know what I mean? So I want to know what that is. Like, what are you looking for? Because you're obviously looking for something.
Right.
I don't see you just going like, look at their stuff. Like, you would be like, there's something on there that you need to pay attention to.
Right.
So what would that be specifically?
Right. And so then I started I started posting about treaties that have been broken since day one, and we're still gaslighting homeless people. You know, Native American population. They're still battling. The Sioux is still battling for the Black Hills, still to this day. And the money that was offered to them a long time ago is up to the billions, and they refuse it. They want their land back, and we're still continuing. And they're living in poverty because it's the principle of the matter. That was their sacred land. You signed, and then they went back on it. So
of course. Well, I mean, imagine though, they always, you know, give recognition to the native
Right,
lands.
right.
And
And
it's
so
like
it's-
such a slap in the face.
it
'Cause I'm
so
like,
is.
It's like
It so
someone
is.
going and taking over your house and just being like, I just want to thank you for allowing
Right.
me to use your home. They're like, you've actually taken it from me. And
Right.
like, you're welcome.
And so that's where I'm coming from. For me personally, though, I want all of those emergency housing vouchers to be put back into play. I am a registered Indigenous person. I have a tribal card. It's not here in California, but at what point does that serve me anything? If you know, they do get, even here in the county, you know, city and county, the Kumeyaay, we're giving, but okay, so what does that mean? Then what does that mean? So it's just for show?
Yeah, it's
Because how
such a
come
virtue signal as though they're doing something. It's like, we're just giving you a thank you, an
It's
honor.
so fucked up. I mean, it's like,
It's very inverted.
it really is. And so we've been, I just said that today, with the dang rocket hitting the moon. And
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm
It
like,
didn't hit the
no,
moon.
I know, but you know, I'm like, okay, let's see it. And the news reported
it'll be
it.
stuff like
It's so
that.
stupid. That's what I'm saying. The news is reporting it on YouTube,
course,
and then
I mean,
I'm going looking for, and then there's these, you know, these dudes that are like nerding out on their computer with their telescope, waiting to see this, and nothing. There was one.
Oh yeah, they were going
like,
to see space deaths, right?
right. But it's like he's like, maybe it happened on the other side. Like one of them was like
Space
6 hours long, and he finally was like, okay, I don't know, like maybe
I think
we
they've
just don't
been
have the right.
snorting space dust.
Holy crap. And I was like, there's the news about it. They didn't even have a video. And
Of
I'm like,
course
wait,
not.
it's gotten so blatant in our face
Yes.
of ridiculousness, of distraction, that I'm like, this is retarded. Because the news is reporting on it, and they don't even have a video to back it up. But they're like,
Which is
oh, it's so
strange.
amazing. Right.
You think
I
with
mean-
all the AI they would have produced one,
Well, there was a
like
couple.
they did when they came back from space.
There was people that had posted their little AI videos
I
of
know.
it. Was kind of funny. It was. I'm like, oh, they got creative, and
Did they show space dust?
yeah, there was some that was kind of funny because they did. It's like,
It's just such a joke. Like that's what's so funny.
but that's
It's
what
like
I'm
fairy dust giving.
saying. Like, why? And then so. Even the news, like, I don't think I could be a newscaster and reporting something
Oh, no.
that I'm saying that the rocket hits the moon and there was space dust and be all excited about it, but I don't have anything to back it up. And maybe I didn't create that information and I don't believe it, but then why am I reporting
Exactly.
something that I don't have something to vouch to back it up? And that's just like, even sitting here, I wouldn't say something and just throw out fucking information because I read it somewhere and then I believe it.
Right.
I mean, it's really frustrating. And so as adults, that's what I was telling one of my girlfriends today, stop talking for a second, you know, think about what was said, whatever I'm saying or whatever you're watching on TV, YouTube, and say, does that make sense? Do the actions match what is being said?
Right.
It seems so basic.
Yeah, it does.
And it doesn't seem that we're doing that.
I mean, well, we are, but
Right.
I mean, other people will, they're good at making people want to stay in the illusion because they think it's easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like we were talking about earlier, like, when we weren't on, but just the shattering of your reality, right? And moving forward from that. It's just like anything in life when you get to a place where you maybe you have to get a new job, maybe you have to move, whatever it is, you have to date someone new, right? You're always like, the unknown is kind of scary, but it should be thrilling. They've just painted it in a way and made it so that you are kind of scared of change. When this is the change that is necessary in order to get out of the suffering that we're enduring right now. But they think that this suffering is going to be far better than going outside of that. And it's like, it's going to be scary at first because it's the unknown. But once you just go into it fully like you are into this, you'll see that it is beneficial to you and that what you were living in was destructive. But you just got so used to that's all you know. It's like we were saying, if this is all you don't want to go outside of that because you get comfortable and you're just used to it. It's like a routine, and so it's like, but break away from that because it's so thrilling to not have to see it, even though it's hard at first. It's because it's heartbreaking. It doesn't mean that stops, but it's like, it's easier to navigate what's going on because you see it for what it is and you can let the constructs that they've built up around us fall flat and know that we don't have to live that way.
Right.
It isn't supposed to be that way.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Right. So if we go back to, because all we can do at least a little, we start local, like even starting within yourself. So we were talking about the gentleman who got the phone call. How deep, when it comes to city and county, we went to the potential 11 affordable housing buildings. So I started researching that. The affordable housing isn't subsidized for people. It's yes,
it is.
Not the affordable housing. It's saying that it goes off a BMI, so nobody's going to have their rent subsidized. It's that they get a grant, the builders.
Well, the builders get the money for the rest of it.
Right. So they can make these apartments
affordable to the person.
Right. But they're not,
quote, unquote.
right. But even though it says affordable,
It's not.
it's right. It's still $2,000 something. But no rent is being subsidized when you say affordable housing.
Well, it is because they're still getting a subsidy. You know what I mean? That's the
no,
illusion that they're trying to make it seem like, because that builder isn't going to take on the cost loss.
But I'm saying the person that's renting,
person.
there's no government, there's no where every month,
you wouldn't, the person wouldn't get it. It would be the company.
But the government is not paying part of their rent. It goes off of so there's a tax credit for the builders.
Well, yeah, they get the subsidy.
But
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it was even said, where's my...
Yeah, I looked it up because I was getting confused on the difference, because I wanted to know, how is it that we're doing affordable housing if all of a sudden my emergency housing voucher was cut, which is subsidized by the federal government, but these emergency housing choice vouchers were in place for people and families who were financially affected due to COVID, which is another point I wanted to hit about COVID.
Yes.
And being affected, not in a physical, medical way, but financially and I guess a mental way. But so let me go to.
Sorry, I just wanted to see because I know I saw it somewhere, it might have been on their site, where it was talking about the subsidies that they have to get, because it's like, the money, like, again, that entity that is going to be running it, you know what I mean, and owning it, and getting these tax credits and the deed restrictions, right? They still have to get money to make up for what the person isn't gonna pay. So it's not as though they're not gonna be subsidized. There's no way.
So it's, from my understanding, my phone's, here, let me restart it. So what it's saying, it goes by
That was on the website.
the building people or whoever,
The construction.
yeah, is getting a tax credit so that they can build that
Yes.
way cheaper, so that regular rent doesn't have to be, you know, it's.
Yeah, but they're lying. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be more, like, anything the government does, they even say, like,
Well,
because it's in our hands, it's gonna be cheaper, and it's like, I call bullshit, because you guys, everything you do,
But- and
they'll
so-
be like, oh, this costs more because we're the government, and we always have to pay more, so it's like, why are you lying and saying that this developer is gonna save money because they're going through you? But there are also the gatekeepers of the permits, and if they own the land, then they're like, we don't have to go through all of those things to acquire the land, we're just gonna be using land we already own.
Well, and so it gets back down to, when I spoke the last time at city council, who is doing the research to figure out who it benefits the most? As in, and
We're not going to.
we're gonna have, well,
I mean,
that's
they
what I
use it,
asked.
yeah.
Like, so the developer that you choose, what's at stake for whom? Who is the actual stakeholder in all of this? So it sounds good and we're gonna have these buildings, and at the end of the day, is it beneficial for the people of San Diego? Or, you know, because
It benefits them.
there's so many things that have been said and done, and then the outcome has been, and I'm not saying just in San Diego and in general, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why people are losing their faith in anything or don't believe anything. So my question is, and maybe that's what we need to bring up at city councils, who's the one in charge? Is it the city, who's the Charles
Planning.
guy?
Oh, Charles Monica,
The
the IBA.
yeah. Is he the one who does that research and be like, okay, you know, at the end of the day, after this is all built, and seeing who's profiting what, and then figuring out what affordable that price is for those set apartments, is he the one saying, yeah, that benefits the people of San Diego, that benefits our city? How in depth? I think they're gonna have to be more in depth now
Well,
with
sure.
all of this stuff that's happening. And how in depth can anyone really be anymore with who's in charge of this country? Or, you know, at any
Or at any
level
level.
of, right, as any level of governmental bodies. Because if,
It's an organized crime syndicate across the board from the top to the bottom.
and if we understand this and you're in a governmental role, and you know, we're watching the Congress, you know, question Fauci, and he's pleading the fifth.
On it,
Okay.
what color's your shirt?
It's like, okay, so we know this is happening. It doesn't seem like really anybody's still being like, what is the process of accountability? We're asking him questions he's not going to answer. We already know the answers. So at what point do we say, okay, because he's not on trial right now, right? That's not
No.
trial.
No, but they
That's
want
him.
him to be.
Right. So how long does that take? So we're dealing with a government that makes the process that much longer. You know, like, why is it taking so long? We
Because-
already know the evidence is already there. You guys are just, he's not going to say anything to you. He's not, you know,
Because they're all
on,
complicit in it. Like, who's,
right. So
it's kind of like a show for us. You know what I mean? Look at this.
Right.
Like, watch. We're going to talk about it in your face.
So how
And
is
nothing's
it
gonna happen.
that if we are as it trickles down from, to the state, and then to the state to, spread out to your own county and city, I guess as an individual, either in the city council or the county board of supervisors, in what depths are they researching how this command system really is?
Why would they research it? They're a part of it, so they know how it works, and that's why they're in it. And complicit, so they learn from the best by, making sure to create policies to protect themselves and just make it, make the business run well. So, I mean...
But how many, okay, so then, because I want to believe that, there's a few up there that I believe went into what drives you to, be a part of a city council, to be on the dais. What made them want to do that originally,
Money.
be in that position? I mean, I would think or assume, like my son always wanted to be a cop, is to make your city, your state, humanity, like a better, right?
That's what they say.
But I'm curious, then I want to know why, what do you want? What are you doing? What is it that you're sitting up there for? Because I know they can't solve all the problems, but nobody's really stating the problems. Because like I said, I'm not asking anyone to save me. I don't know what council meeting I said it at, but nobody's stating that HUD created this problem.
Why would
I
they?
mean, I don't understand. And so how is it that now I'm going to be homeless again when I didn't do, we have Fauci who created COVID, which I became homeless because of COVID. I didn't even ask for a voucher. I didn't ask for assistance, but they told me when I kept getting ticketed, well, did you go and try to get assistance? I don't want to do that. If you quit bugging me, we're saving our money.
Right.
I don't need to spend my day running around, because the assistant, it's like a maze, a numbers, like it's wasting my time and giving me a headache. But then if I don't, then they're going to ticket me. And so I started doing it so that I could be like, yeah, I did. And it's shit, but I don't want to be in the loop. So then I started doing my own research, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, after all of those times I went to Health and Human Services or reached out to this number, I'm like, nobody ever told me there was emergency housing choice vouchers, and I've been homeless for 3 years. Just about. It wasn't till I made a stink and I have 6 people living in a van. It took that long for someone to bring up to me that, oh, there's these emergency housing choice vouchers that you might be qualified for. Not one time. After all of those times, doing all these, finding resources so that I can say, yeah, I did, no one said, oh, maybe you should fill out paperwork for emergency housing choice voucher. It just fell into my lap because I put my family on blast and said, this is happening to us and I don't think it's okay. And I'd written the mayor and never got a response, and I was getting pissed because now we're 6 people in a van. They kept taking everything, and all I wanted to do was be left alone. So then I accepted this emergency housing choice voucher, my family would be off the streets, and now they're taking it back. Or they're not, like,
Right.
I would have never took it in the first place. It wasn't even offered to me until I made a stink about it.
Well, and that's where we were talking about at this affordable home development master plan forum or event. in
Right.
Town Hall.
Who's the master plan?
But it's like,
for?
how are they going to,
Right.
these vouchers, I'm telling you, because there is a subsidy. There's no way they can do it without that. But how can you do that if you can't do it now? If all of these things are being cut now, why on earth would people believe that in the future, when you're planning this in the 2030 time frame, that this is going to come back and be more. I mean,
Well, that was-
for all these places that you're promising, like how is that going to be covered by these programs?
So it's not a program. So that's why I asked, I started Googling it because I wanted to know who or what program. But it's here.
I know, I read it on their site.
So it says,
like through the community block grants, things like that.
it says, the City of San Diego's Affordable Home and Development Master Plan, the city evaluated 20 city-owned sites and narrowed it down to 11 as the most promising candidates for further study. And notably, 7 of those 11 are public libraries. Through the city says any affected library would be replaced and not eliminated. The city is holding open house workshops this week to collect public feedback. And the master plan hasn't even been drafted yet. These are sites picked for study, not finalized projects. So this is years out. Now my actual question, what gets subsidized is the building, not automatically your rent. Here's how these get built. The city contributes the land for free or at cheap. Public land in California is steered toward affordable housing under the Surplus Land Act. Then the developer stacks financing, mostly 2 federal state tools. Low income housing tax credits, LIHTS, tax credits sold to investors to raise money to build, and then the tax exempt bonds. In exchange for that public money, the units get restricted for decades. Rent restricted for decades. But here's the distinction. That matters enormously. Rent restricted is not the same as your rent is paid. Most affordable units just cap the rent at a percentage of an area median income, like the La Mesa project, where rent is set by income within your 30 to 60% AMI range. You still have to pay the capped rent out of your own pocket. For families that need a deep subsidies, a capped rent can still be out of your reach. So the units that are actually being rented aren't subsidized or attached to, subsidy isn't attached to that unit. Let's see. But the single development can have both, offer both, as in if like a project-based voucher, they can offer some of them be saved.
Get it somehow because there's no way they're not going to bite.
Well, so what they're saying is that so they get to build that building. It's basically that development. That development seems to be like profiting no matter what. So they're saying that they get to build, they get extra money from the state to get. It's like all up front, not like a monthly.
Well, they all do. They all get the upfront because they're giving them the grant money to go in there because they're providing this type of housing. That's why they get the deeds and the tax credit. You know what I mean? They get all of these benefits every time it's all attached to the affordable housing developments.
Right. And so really where at the end of the day, I want someone to show to me, and if you have to break it down, because that's still not even broken down to me enough. I want to see it where and how and what, who, if I'm paying for an affordable housing apartment, who gets that rent? Who gets the rent every month? The
landlord.
So who's so they own the building, or do they hire people
to paying?
That's what I'm saying. Explain to me. At the end of the day, I want to see a money trail. That's what I want to see.
I mean, you'd have to see it from that person.
So if they bring these up, then I want to see. Okay, explain to me how that works. So they're getting a tax credit, so a big chunk of money to build this building.
So they save money.
Right. So how much is it to where they're saving, and how much is the developers? How much are they pocketing? How much? What is their profit?
Well, off of building it.
Right. Well, they're getting a portion to have.
Sure, but you would use that towards your building costs.
Right. And so I mean, are they using and building cheap crappy, ugly. I mean,
I'm
they
sure.
look brand new, but they're ugly. You know, like
But I don't
How
know
much are
that's
they
something, I don't know where you'd be able to find that information, if
Well,
that,
what could
because
it-
the city, like, is that something, if they're contracting with them, that they would be able to, I don't know.
well, I'm gonna have to ask
yeah,
because this
you'd
is,
have to put in a records request.
yeah, I'm gonna start requesting.
Like, you have to do that with the clerk. I think they have they might have an online, like, system to do it, I'm not positive. That either they do or they're going to, but you can even send it to, like, the clerk or something and just say that you wanna, request information as far as, I mean, you can't do that with these, cause they're not even happening, you know what I mean? But you'd have to go to another development and see, show me the breakdown of, the tax credit that this developer's getting.
Right.
And, are they
That's
telling
bad.
you, but see, this is the problem with the cities or just any government, they contract with these people and then whatever entity it is will give a subpar reporting back of, a
Right.
ledger, and they accept that, because they're just like, oh, well, yeah, that's
Well,
good
right.
for us, right? When we would want something more detailed.
Right.
It's like, they're willing to accept something suffice because they're potentially also, profiting, because, like, if you think about, say, Henry Foster, like, he does construction, he has, he's tied to construction, and so his family and whatnot will benefit from constructing these types of things. So that's even something to look at, like, where are they gaining, and why would it, because then they're gonna be pushing certain projects, do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they want to benefit on the back end of it being constructed.
So I guess then back to my point is really understanding why somebody is doing what they're doing in the position that they're in, like getting down to the nitty gritty, because it's time to show face, as in the veils are coming up in all different aspects. And like I said, I'm going to be home. I have children, 4 children. I'm going to be homeless. And the people or multiple people that created COVID.
I mean, I would argue COVID doesn't exist, but,
Well, right.
but I mean, the whole, yeah,
the whole thing, I
Yeah.
didn't get to work.
yeah.
Whatever
I
they
mean,
created
whatever,
this
yeah.
this story that
The
fed,
boogeyman.
yeah.
So they could vaccinate.
Right. And I took a punishment for, I've never, and now it's proven and everybody's mad and okay, well, I'm going to be homeless. I didn't create COVID. Then you throw a bone at somebody and now you're taking it back. So now I'm pissed. And I have 4 kids and you fucked with my kids. It's fucking with their childhood. And-
And fucked with everyone, yeah.
Right.
And that's what's like,
Right, so we're all gonna sit here and be like, well, that's just how it goes. I'm fucking not. And so, if nobody on the dais of the city or the county or Sarah Jacobs or anybody
gosh.
that's supposed to represent me, then I'm coming for you.
Sarah Jacobs.
I'm coming for you, and I'm gonna find out what your true purpose is here. Because if it's not participating in something that's for the people, like if we're just going to acquiesce, I don't want to be a part of it, and I'm going to start calling people out. I'm not perfect, but I have nothing to lose.
Oh, well, it's good. Welcome.
And so,
they're not going to
well,
course correct.
and
They dig their heels in and they stand firm in their lies.
right, and then I'll just keep pushing. And for me, the approach is a little different. So
Well,
I'm,
yeah, you have to do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone does them those, their own.
and so I think sometimes I think it's easier to like I believe you get scapegoated a lot,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
and so it's easier to dismiss. But where I feel like I have an advantage sometimes to maneuver and because I'm not coming at you aggressively. You know what I mean? And
I wouldn't say I'm aggressive.
Well, I don't think so either.
But people might see it that way,
right?
for sure.
Straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, but it can be seen as, but it's like, I mean,
right.
I could show people aggressive. It's not that.
And so when I have my kids next to me, because I'm a naturally aggressive. I'm just small and petite, and you know what? When they look at me, I don't have. It's like profiling. People profile, or you know what I mean? They automatically get this. Anybody does, you know.
I get profiled as a lefty all the time.
It's you know, or even like when people meet my husband, they're like, oh, I didn't expect that at all. I'm like, what does that mean? What did you expect? You know, like what? Because he's 6'1", he's tan, and they're like, I wasn't expecting that at all. I don't know what you expected. You
Right.
know, like we have these ideas that we form in our head, and
Right.
so I don't plan to use my kids as part of, because if I'm going to bring my kids and they're getting older to where they don't want to go and stand there and show their faces because it sucks.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell then tell this child
Right.
what your answer is, and then and say it out loud, because I think it's time that we have to really understand and look at how we're maneuvering through this world, because
For sure.
they have children, right?
Yeah, a lot of them, not every single one.
Right.
Yeah.
But so,
Some
We're
have
being
young children,
asked,
some
right.
have older children.
and I think this is really what's happening right now. We are given the opportunity as a humanity, as to really examine
Reality.
what and why and how we're going to move forward.
But you have to accept reality first. You can't move outside of that if you
Right.
don't accept the things that
Right.
are happening. It's like people kind of want to live the fairy tale life of cupcakes and rainbows.
Well, and I guess that when you say conspiracies, it's easier for people to say like, oh, it's not that deep, or there's no deep state, or there's no whatever they use to
Sure.
make them think that that's too much out of
yeah, like you're
reality.
fringe. You're so fringe. It's like, oh my gosh, these people are so just
But-
out there, like what they're saying, and it's like, but that is reality. Reality is out there. Reality is a sci-fi movie.
well, and that's why I say
this.
when I go and I say that is real, it's real to me, you know, and you're helping that be more real to me. So what the fuck? And it's kind of confusing, because if people, you know, they're like, get these prayer chains, or, you know, like pray, if they're praying to something and they think like that creates like this positive energy, you know, I had all these people praying for me, then what makes them think that the opposite isn't something?
Right. Well, or why can't you also transmit that into other things, understanding that the power of
Right.
getting
And
together, because it would be similar to prayer when you're doing something in
Right.
the truth and the light,
because they're
that there's power in that.
right.
And it's like, but there's complacency in the church too, not only like we were talking about Q and Anons and stuff like that, and how it's made people, it was a psyop and it's made people complacent. Well, I believe the church has done the same thing with the psyop of the second coming and the rapture, right? So the rapture is it's just nonsense. It's something that was made up. And you know, I mean, I do believe that Christ is coming back, like that there will be a time like that. But if there was a resurrection, then he'd be coming back again, whatever. But these people, even still, I would be like, well, what makes you think that he would come and take you? Like, you've just been sitting here doing nothing. Why aren't you fighting? That's what he wants us to do, is turn away from the wickedness so that he can cleanse our land and we can move forward away from this evil, you know, agenda that has enfolded and enveloped our lives. But it's like, they just think, well, if Christ is going to come back, all I have to do is sit here and just wait for it. Like, this is just the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it. And I'm like, well, if you read the Bible, it says that you will do greater things than Christ. That's what he told us, is that we will do, but we will also be treated the same and ostracized. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that's how I know, too, that I'm over target, because I'm like, oh, sweet, everyone just like, you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of being shown. So those are good telltale signs that you can see that you're on track. But it's like, if people embody the Spirit of Christ, and we're like, okay, if we can do greater things than him, imagine if we all join together as one and say no to this satanic cabal.
Right. Well, and he says, you know, he's not asking to follow, you know, like it's within you too, like,
Yes,
because
heaven is within us. Like,
right,
you know what I mean?
right,
And that's what people don't even embody as well.
because we've been inverted and thinking like, oh, we can't have that type of, you know, specialness, as in Christ, being Christ-like.
Well, it's different from the world, because the world doesn't promote that, right?
Right.
And so they always promoted, like, you know, which is funny, like, peer pressure was not the thing. You know what I mean? Like, but they peer pressure everyone into doing stuff. They make you feel guilty or whatever, but it was not good to be, like, different. It was always kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, you're just weird. You don't go along with it, which is like the opposite of them saying no peer pressure, which now it's all about that, which is always has been, you know what I mean? To get you to, like, do anything.
Right.
Like, it trickled down into our lives, where it was like they were doing it, but then people emulate that. But when you're, what was I going to say? Shoot. All of a sudden I just lost my train.
I did that. Oh, I did that yesterday talking to you. Remember? Was it you that I was talking to? And I was like, I don't even remember what I was going to say. Well, my point is that, okay, so we're having this opportunity, if you remember, just interrupt me.
Yeah.
This opportunity, you know, I like astrology and I follow astrology. And the planets are really aligning. They're showing face. They're showing, like, as these things play out, you can look to the sky,
Yes,
and it's
as
letting
above,
you.
so below.
It's letting you know what it's doing,
Yes.
and they're starting to shift, and they're gonna show us some more.
Because they're illuminating.
And so, from my understanding, I was listening to someone talk, is that we're being asked and being called to really reflect and understand what we're believing and questioning it and how we move through it. Someone who I was listening to on a podcast or something, that, like, literally it's gonna split at some point. Something is, you know, we won't be seeing people in a certain reality, like the frequency of people that choose not to continue to go along with these things that are happening by AccuVesting. That at some point, I mean, these people will still be interacting with, you know, each other. Will be interacting, but we won't be able to really see them in a sense. Like, they'll be living a different reality. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like Earth splits into two different Earths. That collective of reality that continues to live off fear, do these horrendous things, you know.
Well, they'll just keep doing it, but we'll all still be living simultaneously here.
Right, it'll be like living two different timelines. That's somebody else's explanation of it.
But if you think about it, like, before you were awake, you were on a different timeline.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like them staying in that timeline.
But they're
and
saying
not moving here.
Right, we'll start to be separating more from people that are not on the same.
Oh, yes, 100%.
We won't, the people that are.
Which has already happened, don't you feel like, with COVID?
Yeah. And it's because it takes a minute to sit back and reflect and connect the dots personally. And nobody, well, that's the thing that they do as well, is that we're sped through life as soon as you're born. It's like everything is and now it even seems like faster.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if CERN has anything to do with it, or if what is, you know, but I swear time is going by faster, or if it's just me getting older. But it seems like time just flies through the day.
It does.
I forgot.
But like kids, remember being a kid and it felt like it took forever.
Forever.
And it was like, I mean, that's why, you know, when you're like, oh my gosh, 16 is like so far away.
Well, even through the day, you know, I'm like, how, like, oh, this day was so, for, you know, when you're a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I looked at the clock and it's only been 20 seconds. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like it's been an hour.
Oh, well,
I mean,
but
but
connecting
time
the
does
dots.
fluctuate
Right.
like that because
Right.
sometimes I'll think, and I can tell when I'm speaking at the meetings because 2 minutes will seem like forever sometimes.
Yeah,
And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I went so quick.
yeah.
But that's where I can really feel it, where I'm like some
Because
days
it's the
I'll be
same-
like, man,
right.
is it just 2 minutes? How long did they have? And I'm like, I feel like they've been talking forever. And then I'll go up there and be like, man, I still got a lot of time. This
Right.
is weird. And other times I'll look and be like, Dad, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. So
Right.
it's weird how it kind of bends and fluctuates in that way. I mean, because it's really an illusion.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it
it's
makes
so
you wonder
slowing
what
down.
makes it do
right,
that.
right. Well, I think wherever the planets are, you know, when they're going through
Wow.
their, but also, so that's my point is that they keep us in a constant state of your nervous system being in a constant, like with
Go, go,
time,
go, go,
like
go.
time. School
Yeah.
starts at a certain time because
Like,
the
I gotta
work,
go. I gotta
right,
quick.
and it's, I cannot do that anymore, and that's one of, you know, it's a issue within amongst people that I have in my circle, because, well, I'm kind of late all the time. Well, but I don't.
This time I don't.
But I'm, you know, with people that
Actually,
that
you
affects.
were.
I was.
You were still late.
I was like, you
late,
beat me
but
here.
I know. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm not late. You're late.
Well, and so I
I'm just kidding.
slowed down when, because I'm like, oh, my daughter's going to take her swimming. I like always say, but as in time, as in even for school, like that's
Yeah.
why another reason I started homeschooling. I'm not being on these
Right.
people's
timeline.
I'm not being on their schedule because that for me personally, and that is for me personally, even being on their school schedule, which is set up by, you know, these tiers of who runs this stuff. To me, for me personally, being on that schedule, I am participating in something that I disagree with
Oh yeah.
to the core if we're doing connecting the dots.
Oh yeah.
So that is another reason it causes conflict between people because they don't understand. Well, I'm saying my family circle, they don't understand that that's how deep it runs for me, and how it trickles and how I connect my dots to me participating in what.
Sure.
And
Well, it's like trying not to participate. Of course, there's going to be things that we can't get out of.
Right.
We have to live within this world, but also without of it, and
Right.
as out of it as much as we possibly can.
Right.
And those are always choices. Some people are like,
Yes.
"Well, no, that's too hard." It's like, is it, or are you just not willing to do it? You
Right.
don't even know because you haven't even tried it. So why
Right.
are you even judging it before you do it?
Right.
Because I guarantee you, once you do it, you're going to be like, "Oh shit, I want to keep doing this and see how much more I can." And so you're always pushing back against this construct that's enveloping us and suffocating and like literally sucking the life out of everyone.
And that's how it.
And you
if
start
I
to
think-
feel like more air. Sorry.
Right. If I think about it, that's how it was, and I tried to explain that to them. Like the thought of me being on that school schedule and running around and picking this one up from here and this one up from here, when I already don't believe what they're teaching them in school is worth anything, and rushing it so I can
Right.
go to work
I know.
and
They
I
can
don't
learn
even.
a bunch of nonsense anyway.
Right, and then to be on their time and then get a truancy if I'm late, and I don't believe in like, then I am. There's, I guess, what you would say is a sacrifice, you know. And I'm willing to sacrifice because I don't think it's going to be forever. That my income may be this way. That's how passionate, or I guess, it comes at a cost.
Sure. It
Comes
does,
at- it
yes.
comes at a cost.
But you have to be willing to understand that it's worth it. Because in the
right.
other space, we're like, oh, no, that's the most important thing. And it's like, no, it isn't, because all it does is make you more miserable. You
Right.
got to understand, like, what is really important.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and don't look at money as like, because you'll have just enough, you know what I mean, what
Right.
you need. But it's like, when you start focusing on that, then you forget about all this other stuff. And it's like these other things are way more important than like going to a 9-to-5 job, because this is our future. This is humanity. This is children, you know, like just the suffering of people and the exploitation. It's like, why does it have to, because again, people are like, well, when it touches me. No, because it's already touching you. It's been all over you. You've been vomited on for years, ever since you were born. And you don't even see it. You just think it's going to come in some other way.
Right.
It's like, no, you have Stockholm Syndrome.
Right.
And you can't see the forest through the trees. You think these people, that's why they go up and thank them. And I'm like, if you really knew what they were doing, you wouldn't do that. But instead you want to look at me because I'm like calling them out and like, oh my gosh, you're so horrible. Like, why would you do that? You know, and it's like, respect these people. Why? They don't respect us. Like, I see it, I know it. I did in the beginning because I was like, that's just the way I, you know, you want manners and stuff. But then all of a sudden I was like, holy crap.
Well,
this is totally the opposite of what I thought was going on. So now I have to course correct.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, sitting back, listening to what is being said, and then seeing what plays out after.
Yes.
But they've kept us so busy, and it made
nobody can watch.
Right.
So when you do, you're like, holy shit.
Well, and
they've been running rampant.
Well, and how it affects our children.
Everybody, everything you do.
Right.
Every day of your life.
Snapping at each other, like even being married.
Well, it causes turmoil, right?
Right.
Because you're struggling, and instead of looking at them, you're like fighting because you're trying to make ends meet.
Right. Oh shoot.
Oh shoot.
No. So right, and so that is what is frustrating, is because I'm not doing anything that is affecting you per se. So why are you questioning me?
Well, if anything, it's affecting you in a good way because it's helping you. Like go like these, you're not understanding here,
right?
You know what I mean? I'm doing this for your benefit too, as well as mine.
Right,
for all of us.
Right.
You just don't see it like that.
You know, hold on, let me hit record. No, there's this woman that she's an advocate, and you know, you've probably seen her on my feed in the UK. Covey Leaks.
Potential. I wouldn't know from that. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, you'll if you, because I don't follow that many people and I don't have that many followers.
Is it recording?
Yeah, when the red light's on. But that's what she was saying, is that, you know, because she didn't get vaccinated. She's big in the UK and at these like Bill Gates trial in the UK.
Oh, that's great.
And she just made a video like going off because she's not vaccinated, and she's pissed because she's saying all these people that were vaccinated are like now, oh, you know, making all these uses and being like, woe is me, and want this or that. And she's she's like, I have to say, fuck all of you. We weren't only taking ridicule and being ostracized. It wasn't just for us. We were doing it for you too. So now that I'm saying, like, you know, we tried to tell you, I don't need you, you know, like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you when you guys ostracize us, and now we're just getting our, you know, like being our dues paid to us, and now you're taking, you won't even admit that. Right, nobody's admitting that they were shitty people, that they were shitty people.
Horrific,
now it's
aggressive, violent.
I had a lady, seriously.
Craziness.
This one woman scared my children, and it was a bad move on her end. But my point is that she was like, how come you guys now are like, oh, but nobody's saying I was a shitty person at that time.
Of course not.
And so
they don't even think they were in general, so they wouldn't even remember that. They just thought they were being who knows what. So they wouldn't even go back and be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. They would have been like, you know what I mean? They're in that. They're not even going to self-reflect because that would be too much to admit.
And I think in general, okay, so back to like it to think about rushing around and sending my kid off back to like school. It makes me sick to my stomach. And that has caused problems too, because like we're saying, when it comes to money and me sitting back and I'm not on anybody else's timeline. So when you homeschool sometimes, and when you homeschool,
it almost came up my nose.
I did that the other day, but I laughed and I piece of food. I think I was eating at the same time. like, shot right back to the back of my throat where you can shoot
It
back
kind of
with
shot
force.
back to the back of my throat, and then it almost, and there's a little salt in there, so it's like,
Oh,
almost started coming out my nose, like, it burns a little bit.
a saline solution. But, so,
Oh my gosh, clear out my sinuses.
the questions like, oh, you homeschool? Like, what? I don't have to remember what grade my kids are supposed to be. But I have to fill out paperwork, you know,
Yeah.
so that you can, like, these kids are accounted for. We're not
Right.
hiding in my basement. But
Which
still,
is like,
people are
it's
still
none of your
like,
business. Like, whose business is it of yours
this,
what my kids are learning?
well, it's that I don't have to report to
I
school.
know.
It's every year the
yeah, but
state
it's
saying.
just, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mind your business. Like,
But for
at some
actually,
point, they're going to ask when we take a shit and how many times we wiped and how much toilet paper. Then they're going to be like, you can only use 1 square toilet paper.
God,
And
right.
so we're going to ration it. And
Well,
I want
that's
to
what
collect the data on that. I'm sorry, it's just that's how ridiculous
Well,
it is.
and that's like people sitting back and saying, okay, where am I participating
Yeah, that I
in
don't need
what?
to.
Right. And I'm willing to sacrifice. And I told my children, you know, the older ones the other day, for me, and I don't care what anybody says, I don't care who decides to stay in my circle or my life or not. That I know my kids are being told the truth, that are safe, I will go with nothing than to hand and continue to participate in something that is not real or true and that is harming and detrimental to my children or to humanity in general. And people can gaslight me all they want because it's an issue. It's an issue, and I think that's what people aren't basically slowing down and looking inward and questioning what is happening, because it's daily there's something in our face. We can't ignore
Space dust. I'm sorry.
I mean, well, and
I wonder if they're spending, I'm telling
volcano.
you,
There's
they're snorting that.
There's a volcano eruption in Guatemala. All 6 fires start in Spokane at the same time.
Oh, that's,
And then now there's an arson on one set of fires. There's an arson, but then
We got
come to find out
Aluminium coming.
there's a data center like
of course.
behind the scenes. It's like that's what I'm saying every
like, oh my
day.
gosh, there's a fire. Bummer. Dang it, it's cool. We wanted to build something here anyway.
Every day there's something that's randomly, I mean, this is especially right now, like if you think about us growing up, we didn't have media at our fingertips, but for sure, for a fact, every day there's some random just shit that's being thrown at us. We're like, what the fuck? Really?
It's
Ticks
comedy. It's like,
ticks being
what's gonna
fucking
be next?
well,
You know what I mean?
seriously,
The
and that's
mosquitoes.
right.
Those
And there's
mosquitoes.
shit that we don't even in other places that like the UK. Like I hear stuff because I'm following like underground UK stuff, and they're saying the same thing. It's just random shit that's going down over there too. The 60,000 people running
I
over
know.
to Spain. I was watching that
I was
video
just
and
like,
I was
oh my
like,
gosh,
is this
this
real?
Yes,
It
it's
was
real.
live, and I
I've
was like,
seen that happen in real life, not with that many people, but like a
It
good
was
30, 40 people.
crazy.
And so it's like,
I'm like,
it's
how-
nuts.
yes.
But
There
that's
was-
what I'm saying.
see,
People act like it's normal. When that is normalized, it's like, wait a minute, how is that? So if I
Well,
were
that's
just
what I'm
like, I feel like
saying.
running into these people's homes and being like, what? I thought, is this not my home now that I'm here? It's like they come and they're American. Is this not, do I not get to claim ownership? And like, if you want, you can sleep in the backyard in a tent. But I'll give you acknowledgments every time I come in the house. I'll be like, thank you, Sean, for giving me your home. It was such a blessing that you did that. And
well, and I'm talking,
like-
texting my brother-in-law. Do you see this shit that's fucking? I mean, it was like swarm
yeah,
for
I know.
hours.
Yeah, it
And
was
he was
nuts.
like, dude. And I'm like, but why does it seem like this is normal? I mean, the news are reporting it, and I'm
Because it
asking,
is
like, people
normal.
are, like, going about
They're
their day,
probably
and
like
I'm like,
climate
this is
refugees
crazy.
is what they say. They
Well,
actually have, they're like, they migrate.
Well,
Like,
so
this is
then
what
the
the
Red Cross
United
is over there
Nations-
feeding these.
Of course, they set it up to
And
do
so
that.
I'm like,
They already knew.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's how you
Yes,
know,
that is
because
my
they have
point, and I'm
everything
like-
set up. It's just like what happened prior. Where
Right.
like all along the way, they're like, we have water. So they'd get here and expect shit. They were like, where's my water? Where's my, I'm like, I haven't even drank water today, and you're expecting
Right.
me to like have all this stuff for you. Like, I'm not saying I don't mind, but like, you expect it because you've been getting it. It's not as though like you were like, oh my
Right.
God, I'm so thirsty. I'm like,
Right.
I'm dirtier than you, and I've only been here for a few hours. Like,
Right.
how are you so clean when you've traveled how far? Interesting.
Well, and that is my point as well. Like, I'm not, with the emergency housing choice voucher, I don't give a shit what the Congress said. You know, it's time, like, balls to the wall. I'm not participating while we have our hand in 60,000 people going over to another country, and then does are our tax dollars paying for part of this Red Cross that
Yeah,
are
of
feeding?
course.
And they're all men. They're all military
Yeah.
aged men. So this is my point. It's like, people,
They're just new Spaniards.
huh?
They're new Spaniards.
It's just, but then it comes down to a government, like, just,
It's allowing it
Right.
because listen, we have military all over this friggin' county.
Right,
Okay?
right.
And the border's right there. If like
and right.
at what point
Why
none
does
of
it?
them.
And
None, and I'm like, this is what, and everything's all set up for it to just happen. And it's like, that is embarrassing because it's like, that means that you guys are failures. We're going and protecting other countries when our border right here
well,
is
and
being
what?
invaded
Well,
massively.
and what doesn't? And this is what I'm talking about. People slowing down. We don't have to be rushed through life, you know. Because I started
No.
writing a homeschool
Yeah.
curriculum, and that is like the beginning statement is that when you're handed this diploma, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, if you think about it, you know, you're 18, you're like, fuck, I don't know. What was I just doing that whole time? But you're expected to, it's like, and never actually given a chance to sit back and think what all of this is.
Mhm.
You know?
Sure.
It-
Well,
it-
yeah, they want to get you right into the,
Yeah.
the 9 to 5 so you can pay your taxes,
Right.
be a good little slave.
Right. And so, what if we're watching this in Spain and from Morocco? What makes us think that they're not going to turn our administration won't turn in and do that to us here?
Again? Oh, they're going to.
And
As soon as
I mean,
it
that
changes
was
hands,
like,
they're going to open the border up for sure.
well, and
there's
so
people
that's the
waiting in
thing.
Mexico.
And so that's the thing too. Every like, so Biden puts this in, and this is where the
It's a
American.
flip flop. They pretend to know.
Right.
Oh my gosh, no.
So and with my timeline, each timeline it shows where, oh, they created this, and then they're like, nope, the other person cut that. So
Well, it's like
as
a
it
different-
continues and continues and continues, and now we're here where we're at with this homeless like epidemic. And then they want to gaslight people and say like, oh, you're a drug, you know, this and that, and then now
Well, they're
all these
handing them
vaccines,
pipes and needles.
right? And well, that's what
And
I'm
Narcan.
saying.
I'm like,
And then say that right?
and it's like saying someone don't
Is that
go murder, but I'm going to
fucking-
give you a knife and a gun.
And that's what
Do
I,
not murder anyone.
and say, oh, they don't want the resources,
Like-
but yet that's the resources
You're
they're
giving
giving
them.
people. That's what I'm saying. It's so inverted that like that we continue to go on with our daily lives and then still say, oh, see, yeah, they're all just druggies. Do you know what I
Why do
mean?
you
Like,
think
as
it?
in people, as in like that call and be like, oh, the homeless people, they have all these resources. You know, they just don't want to take the resources. And I'm like,
Sure, there's some people that don't. There
Right.
are some that are like, no.
Correct.
But that's
correct.
not the
That's
majority.
No. And-
Majority of them are going, I want help. I can't get help.
But
I'm trying.
and how long have they been out there to where they've
Yeah.
gotten to that point?
Right.
You know, I don't think.
Well, look at Tent City. I mean, they even are claiming to help them there, and it's like, no, you're not.
Well, and some people have like are born with other mental, you know, disabilities or have where they need separate type of help.
Well, they need.
In the Reagan administration, cut all that too.
Yeah, but they want to medicate them. It's like, to get
Right,
off these drugs so we
right,
can
but
put you
they
on our
use the
pharmaceuticals.
right, then because
But they need to get down to the why are they
Right,
in that position? What
right.
has gone on? What is the trauma that has led them there? Because that's what it always is. It's like,
right.
you know, people want to think, well, if I take these meds, it's going to make all of that go. No, it isn't. It's just going to,
And this is
you know, put a blanket over it for a while, and then you're just going to have to revisit it. It's better to go and face those
and I
things and
believe that
figure it
there
out.
are people in this world that are meant to do that work.
Yeah.
It's just
100%.
the now, like, all of this is coming to a head. Who we have that runs this country for way back they're all part of something
Sure.
that is we don't see, have continued to perpetuate this as it gets worse and worse and worse. And they have they have not allowed, and I don't think they care, but it's coming to a head because society can't continue. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, and we see this happening right now.
Of course. But will people give in to it because they think that this is just the way it's supposed to be, and there's nothing they can do, so they acquiesce to it, and then they're like, well, I mean, like, you know, like it gets so far into the ditch that they're just like, it's easier for me to just lay here than to try and climb out.
And try to live the best life that I can for myself right now, and pretend that it doesn't, and pretend that it doesn't, you know, ignore it in a sense, like,
it's not there, that's not happening.
Right, and if we just go to school and get education, then that won't be part of, but that's no longer,
No, but it's inevitable.
That's inevitable. That's not how, maybe before, like in the past, like 20 years, you know, but now it's starting to be, it's going to be at everybody's front door. That's just
well, and again, I would say it already is. It's just
it just hasn't really
see it.
Right, the water hasn't seeped in.
I mean, and the problem is, it's like they need to be slapped again and again. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could not have it personally come to their front door in a different way. You know what I mean? There's a way of, like, as masses, we're all being affected, but then individually, certain people are more so than others, right?
Right.
You shouldn't want to have that happen to
because
you.
Because
it's already bad enough.
Right. And if we let it, you know, if we let it get that far, and that's the whole point I really wanted to record today, is that I honestly believe that we have to push the pencil harder, because if it gets too far up, it's going to affect the collective. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
sorry, I'm just imagining what they're doing, which is, you know, raping us, and so it's like you're talking about shoving a pencil up there or wherever, whatever. Sorry, I'm just.
Did I say shove a pencil somewhere?
Well, you were saying I don't know. I'm sorry.
Push the pencil up. Push the
I don't
needle
know.
Or poke the bear.
It was like my mind, because I'm like, man, they're just, all they do is, you know.
You know, it's like, so I have my girlfriend. She's talking about all these things, and I'm like, dude, pull your fucking head out, man. What are you talking about? You're not going to be able to, like, be crying about those things if you don't fucking pull your head out. Because we started talking about, and I'm like, Kristen, please stop talking. Nobody stops when you're having conversation. I think, and you know, of course I listen to podcasts and two people are having conversations, but like trying to talk to her, she wasn't really, and it's not just her, there's other conversations I have with people. I'm like, you're not listening. You already either think that what I'm talking about is far from, right, or you have your part to say.
Right.
So nobody's really slowing down and actually listening to conversations, and that's even on X or whatever. You can just see the banter back and forth. I'm like, but nobody's really
and it gets out of control, and because no one does, then it gets into a place where you're like, wait a minute, you misunderstood because you weren't really paying attention. You took it somewhere else.
Exactly.
It happens all the time.
It's
crazy
all the time,
because it'll be like, wait, what is this argument about?
And I'm like, that's not what I said, and you're not listening, and I'm not trying to convince you, and I'm not trying to say that because you want to do that, that it's bad. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't believe in that. I don't want to participate in that. And then you ask me why, or like, and I try to explain to you and you're saying no, like that, dismissing what I'm like.
It's just a great way to sow confusion and discord, because it's like, you know, like when you're talking to someone, you can easily like explain, someone can feel your energy, like see your facial expressions, right? See whether or not you're like angry, happy, upset, whatever.
Right.
This has put us into a place where it's like, you can say something with intention but they'll totally misunderstand you. And then you go back and forth based off this misunderstanding, as opposed to being able to have a real conversation about what the actual problem is. Right. And so they just have done great by separating us in that manner.
And how many how many bots are on there?
Oh, yeah, a lot. And they like to talk.
And I don't think people realize that there's a lot. I was just reading something, 40% on LinkedIn.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
I just read that somewhere. I'm like, holy crap, 40%. That's crazy. So that people are just they're just bots, like.
And so you're sitting there arguing with nothing.
Well, I don't argue with. I don't.
But people will.
No, they will.
That's why I
so
tell people, like, it's not
ridiculous.
even worth it though. Like sometimes I'll be triggered and I do go and I'll make a comment or something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm like, it's not worth it, because it's like, it just brings about this energy feeds off the negative, and so it just builds, and it's like,
that is the whole
you're
point.
Arguing about nonsense, and it's like, I just don't, let them talk shit.
Oh, so one of the things, we can start wrapping it up on Thirsty and Hungry. One of the things, so anyone out there, this is live, right, on X, that is in San Diego area, San Diego City, that has an emergency housing choice voucher, can email what's your shift SD at, no, what's your shift oh gosh, let me look it up real fast. Email it and let me know if you do have an emergency housing choice voucher within the city of San Diego. Another ask of mine is any lawyer wants to run with a case of, I don't know, I have a lot of information that should be treated as such. I don't see how we can just be dismissed. Well, and I have a little bit of footing. I'm an indigenous person to the United States of America. I have a lineage, I have a roll card. And I have contacted my tribe, but they're saying I'm out of jurisdiction since my tribe is in Oklahoma.
Right, yeah, you have to go where your tribe is. I'm out of that jurisdiction. They're in Oklahoma, I'm in California. And it's a federal case, so that there's because on the reservation they have their own law, but there is supposed to be federal protections, but since I'm not in Oklahoma, that they don't allegedly cover this jurisdiction because I'm out of state. But as I'm researching, and I tried to get a hold of legal aid, which I did, and they said that's just a little bit, a big fish to fry because I'm battling federal government. But from my understanding and doing the research and looking up these treaties signed by, that I'm to be protected because I'm an indigenous woman, the tribes are dwindling, that I'm supposed to be protected against the federal government by putting me as a woman that's indigenous in harm's way. So potentially me becoming homeless puts me at risk and danger, especially with my children. And how are we still doing this? Because we have let the illusion that I've done something wrong because my status is going to be homeless. And so that makes automatically I had done something that got me to be homeless. Right? That's what I think most people think when I wonder at what point what happened? How did you become homeless? Well, let me tell you, it's called the federal government and COVID. So if we're going to pay American people back, how does this work? Who's going to be accountable? Who's paying back who? Because I don't know how we can just slide this under the rug. Do you think, because the Epstein files seem to be
sliding.
Oh yeah, that's all they
Right?
do. Yeah, so I mean, there is no.
I mean, nobody's really talking about it. Kind of.
I mean,
Not in the mainstream where like the
of
fucking
course not, where
pitchforks.
they should.
I still want. I didn't forget. I didn't forget, and I said it before Fauci got caught. Before all this came to fruition a few months ago. I'm not forgetting. I didn't forget because my uncle has like full blown dementia. It's sad.
Very sad.
It's so sad, and it pisses me off. And we're still here. We're still acting like, what are we doing, people? So if someone wants to, I'm gonna represent myself. Holy
Right.
shit!
I know.
How come I couldn't? I mean,
I mean, you can.
how do I work my weasel my way up there? Stand in front of like Fauci's up there pleading the fifth. Here, I'll get
Right.
sit me right there. I'll give you something to talk about. Let's hear it. You know, it seems like this the game, but I think we have to make little stinks.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't keep going along with it.
I can't. We can't. I can't. And you know, it's what I said to my brother, because sometimes I get offended by what my passion is and what I feel like I've been called to do. That it's like I almost feel like, why would it be you that would push the envelope and get a result? Do you know what I mean? It's like the Joan of Arc or these chosen people that make these great movements, right, in history. So, like I was talking to my brother and my mom, and they're just like, well, maybe you just kind of need to figure out maybe San Diego's not the right path. Like, maybe, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you kidding me? No, it's the principle of the matter. So now it's like they made me, not that they made me feel, and not that they even really understand, like, that I'm trying to make a statement because I'm not getting what I want, or
Right.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Like you're just throwing a tantrum.
yeah, and
You know
like,
what I mean?
like
Like
I
a
don't
child.
want to change. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to change, or I don't really want to deal with what maybe this is not my reality. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm, like you said, I'm not getting my way or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's the principle of the matter, and because they already think that the outcome is that it will become nothing because I'm just me, as in, like I'm fighting a fight that's
Too big of
pointless,
it, yeah, it's too big for you.
right? Well, and
Like
that's
that.
how I'm taking
Of
it.
course
That
it
they're
is, but it's like-
because they've already seen the outcome that I've failed at it. Not that I'm taking that part personal.
No,
To
but
a
it
certain
seems
extent.
like it too. But it's like everything we do makes a difference. I feel like
Right.
you
Well,
can move mountains and be alone and do it. I mean, I would access my creator, but
right, and so that's
just
what I'm
saying-
saying.
Yeah.
So, as in people watch these movies. I'm talking about my circle of people, and maybe I'm just assuming but the language they use, and like, well, maybe that's just maybe it's just time to move out of San Diego, and I'm just like, because
people
then
like asking that though.
I'm not, and I don't make money right now. And they're like, well, what are you putting your kids through? And so for me, and I told my daughter this the other day, it's more important for me to help them understand, and I know this is disrupting, what a normal child should be having to deal, not what we're dealing with, but it's more important for them to see their mom stand for what I absolutely, it's not for me to get my way.
Right.
It's bigger than that. And I'm not going to be, I don't want to be guilt shamed. And I try to explain to them, it is bigger than me. And I apologize to my children and say, I know that you're along for me on this ride, but please understand, I have been called to do something.
Right.
And it is more important to me that you understand that and see that I won't back down, and that every person has the ability
Yeah, that's right.
to say no against all of it.
Yeah.
And that you will find people who will support you in that. And and not
100%.
lead you with fear.
Oh yeah, or
You know what I
lies,
mean?
whatever,
Like,
yeah.
I know it's some of my family is scared, and that's what I have to say to them. You're putting your fears onto me
Right, yeah, they project
because you're
it.
scared, but I am not scared, and I understand that I can harness that non-fear and put myself in positions with people who will support that non-fear, and I want my children to have that quality, and the only way I can do that is by showing them.
Yeah.
So please,
And being an example.
please don't make it seem or project onto me that I'm either being selfish, is one of the,
Sure.
because it's San Diego and all my kids were born and raised here. And I moved here 20 something years ago, because it was San Diego. And I paid my due, and I contribute to my community. And I paid, but now it's become almost anybody, not just me, on the cost of living here. And how did it get? It
Yeah.
trickled down. It trickles down back to the administration and how we participate and how this continues to move forward. So that's what, my point is, I guess, explaining to anybody and everybody who's listening is that it does come with a sacrifice,
Yeah, cost.
a cost. It comes
But
at a
it's-
cost. And what it costs to,
Not do it.
right.
It's
And that's
far
what I
more.
try to tell, and I'm not trying to be a martyr or be like this, someone who saves. I don't think I'm going to save the world, but it's more important to me, even if the result is, I'm homeless, that I moved forward and said, no, this is not okay, and I will be willing to sit and be like, okay, this is how we're going to treat people. I'm going to push the envelope, and that we're going to have to sacrifice. Anybody's going to have to sacrifice their comfortableness
Of course.
if they want things to change. I guess my point
Yeah,
is
100%.
because I'm tired of people
It's more
bitching
uncomfortable
about.
to be where they're at.
Right, and we see a lot of this bitching and going to city council and then going, people calling in and bitching. But what is it that they're doing that continues to keep these same?
Yeah, perpetuates it.
Yeah. It's really, I guess my point is that it's time. Like, I don't want to hear anybody else complain about this or that.
Well,
Like
they're not willing to do something about it.
Right? And
Instead of just settling into, well, there's nothing I can do. And it's like, then you're not going to do anything. Because
Right.
that's your choice.
Well,
you're choosing
right.
that reality that there's nothing you can do, and then you're emulating that. And
Well,
it's like,
so, but like I said, people will show up that support you when you're doing good. Like, I've seen you last year. I didn't know you, right? But we have the same ideals, and I started talking to you. That's what I'm saying. There's people out there.
oh, yeah. You'll find your tribe.
Right.
You just have to, people are so afraid that they're, going to be all alone or something that...
And nobody
you
wants
know.
to be ostracized and be
Sure.
like the,
Well, it just
But-
feels awkward because it's not
It's
what
un-
reality
right.
is.
And it's
Or
uncomfortable.
this world,
Like,
the constructs that have been set up make you... It's been the opposite. So you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's bad. That's labeled. That's tainted.
well, and that's another thing too.
That's why
I
it's
think
dive into it.
that's why it's I think a little bit of an issue too amongst my bigger is that I'm not uncomfortable, but I think it makes sometimes people that are really close to me, that other people are looking at me in a certain way or light, and they're more worried about what they think about me,
Oh, yeah.
reflecting on them,
Quit being so prideful that you're so worried
I'm
about
like,
what
I
people
don't give a
think
you
about
know
you living in the truth.
like-
That should be the least of your concerns. You should be more concerned about not acquiescing to all of this and being like, yeah, let's just allow this
well,
to
and
happen because I don't want
think right.
people to think badly of me. It's like,
Well, and
and why would they? I mean, if they do,
I don't
that's
want-
their problem.
I'm not trying to get a free ride, I don't think my husband's not comfortable with me making a stink, you know, because nobody wants to be labeled like, yeah, I'm a Section 8 voucher, you know.
I mean, sure,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many different walks of life of how people got assistance.
Sure.
It doesn't bother. It doesn't. It's bigger than me being embarrassed that we are on subsidized, because there's
Right.
this stigma of, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Now I understand, though. Once you're in this, I can't get the fuck out.
Yeah,
That's
what
my
they suck you in
point.
and they're-
That's my point.
They don't
So
want
all
you to
these ideas or ideals that we have of people who get assistance or need assistance, I'm telling
No, it
you,
keeps you in the system. like,
yes,
needing
and
it.
that is what.
And they say that they promote or
It's so-
what is it?
that is my whole
Not
point.
independent, like self-sustainability, basically. And I'm like, no, you
Right.
create dependency.
Exactly.
You don't create
That
sustainable
is my
people.
whole
Like,
point, that it's bigger than me, and I
They
am
wouldn't make
here
money
to
off of
tell you, like, I cannot get out of this loop. And so that is the whole point. And so it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, I don't know, but I'm gonna at least say it out loud. I can't even get out of it.
yeah.
They're making it impossible by putting up these, like I said, that's my whole point. Like, it's the principle of the matter. You're making me homeless now. Now you're keeping me more in the loop. No, I want that fucking voucher back. You know, I want it back. I still need that voucher. You put me in a position to where I needed it. I want it played out till the date that you told me.
Right.
I'm not asking forever, but you gave me a date.
Right. And you couldn't even fulfill it.
Yes. And I planned on that date. I didn't even want the voucher. That's what I'm saying. They have fucking inverted everything, and people need to hear that this is happening.
Well, sure. And then it encourages more people who may be afraid to even talk about that to come
They
out.
are afraid.
So I know,
They
but it
are.
encourages people when you say, you know what I mean? Like, that's what people understand. It is
It does.
contagious, because they're like, oh, you know what? I can say that too, and I have a different story that I need to share with them. You know?
Yes, and
And-
I even said it to a couple people in the last couple weeks, because, you know, I'm like, would you come and say that? And because it's somebody different saying it, that
Yeah.
it's not, you know, they've never, I just want you to say what you just said to me so that people can hear that actually happens
For real. Yeah.
to people
Right.
at the city or the county, but, you know, they may not hear about it, who needs to hear about it,
Right.
because nobody wants to be fucked with, and so they don't say it. And so that's even in general, you have to speak up,
Yeah.
you know, because
Use your voice.
this is ridiculous. I'm over it. I'm over it. I forgot my whole point. Oh, anybody lawyer?
Right, yeah.
Who wants to take on a case? I mean, let's go. Why not? I'm at that point too. Let's push the envelope. Right now is the time. Anybody want to? Because the county 200 vouchers got turned into housing choice vouchers. Did you know that, the EHVs?
Right.
They had
Okay.
200 of them. The county.
Right.
Mine's through the city.
Right.
So we get.
Right. Which is interesting. Usually, I mean, the county's always bailing the city out, so they might as probably will have to, or who knows.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so we're doing all these other things in my city. How about, like, this group of people right here that you know are going to be homeless, that are already housed? How come? And that's the whole point. Prevention, right? So where are all these entities? Because we're in a sector. That's why we need different people. Because we keep, you know, talking amongst each other, and we need other people to hear. But all these groups and entities and RTFH and all of these, the preventative becoming homeless is a big thing, right? Where's my prevention?
Yeah, but
'Cause we
they're-
already
they're
know
not
that
really
well, that's
preventing
what I'm saying. They need a new. It's like, oh, you've already kind of, you know, there's a 300 and something vouchers that are going to be homeless on the same day if they're not.
Yeah,
How
they're
are we
gonna-
still doing these other things when we haven't stabilized this one thing?
Yeah, like you could prevent that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
There's-
I mean, I'm sure they're going to probably try and look in. Hopefully they will, and they'll figure something out. But That's why, you know,
Well, I got a letter
I
got a letter saying
stink about it though is important because
Right.
otherwise they just go like, well, whatever.
Well, and so it's frustrating because that's like part of my frustration is that I have to do this because it's the principle of the matter, and people don't understand that when you sacrifice, in the long run, I'm hoping that they'll see like, yeah, sacrifice can also mean freedom.
Oh, it is. You sacrifice a little bit to get the freedom.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're only sacrificing something that you shouldn't really want to hold on to.
Right.
You just do because you're used to it, it's comfortable, and so you're letting go of that comfortability for a brief moment to go into something else because you can get more, I mean, it's like uncomfortable anyway, but it changes, your perspective changes, the way you
And people that, well, I
feel
guess my whole
about it.
point was like even the people that I interact with now, you know, if I kept choosing to, I've met more people after, you know, saying no more
Sure.
to participating, and I get that, like you said, we have to, there's a point where we're forced to participate in a way like to,
Sure. I mean, it's just
there's,
the way it
right,
is.
it's what things that,
Like, I can't go to the store and not pay tax,
right,
but you can decide whether or not you're going to pay income tax.
and you can
'Cause that
decide
is
what store you go
voluntary.
to.
Sure, yeah,
Right.
those things. I mean,
Right.
yeah, exactly, and what they represent,
Right.
like Victoria's Secret, you would
Right.
definitely not want to go there.
Right. But in my choices to decide that I'm not going to participate in shit that is not good, I've then encountered amazing people that
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would have never encountered, and I am thankful for those experiences because why else are we here?
Mhm.
Is to experience, you know, what it is that we truly have the ability to experience, and that has been suppressed.
Yeah,
That is the whole point. So they don't know. And you can't force people, but I'm saying even I still don't know. I haven't still experienced what I want to experience yet. You know, that I know that there's potential to experience.
sure.
There's also a collective experience. So
Yeah.
I don't know, how do we close this out?
I don't know. Thank you guys for joining us on What's Your Shift.
Hour and 33 minutes. That's not bad.
No. Yeah.
Well, anyone who wants to lawyer, I was going to look up my
Oh yeah,
emails,
your email.
thinking
so
of
that
all
you
these
can-
things. I was thinking about, I wish I had my own studio so it could be set up, you know, how I wanted. I was thinking about like,
Well, you
do
can
it-
even have it like written somewhere or whatever. You know.
yeah, like in my house that has the side studio, so we can just leave stuff as we are, and I don't have to go
Yeah,
in.
like clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you would just have the email.
Yeah, it was set up, and I'm like was thinking
We'll
all
put
the
it in your book
plans.
so that you.
Well, I was
Or
looking
is
for
it?
I can't remember the email. Is it in this book? I swear it's what's your shift
I wouldn't
pod? What's your shift pod at .org? Oh my
do
gosh.
that. .org. At what .org?
What?
There's no just.
Oh,
at
G.
dot-
What is it? No,
No,
Gmail.
Gmail
It's
is
Gmail.
not.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Gmails.com.
Yeah, .com. Well, no, not well. On my, I own 2 domains, so I think I can't remember if I own where I was having my. Oh my gosh, I'm retarded. What's your shift pod at gmail.com?
Oh, so what's your shift
And I have a
Pod
Gmail phone
at
number too.
gmail.com.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone
reach
that has
out.
an EHV or wants to, I don't know, go after the federal government and protect our asses from being homeless on November 30th. That's it. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
I might end up homeless by myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's all good.
That's not.
It'll come back around.
I don't know. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. And
Eye of the Storm.
yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can actually get this video up
Eye of
on.
the Storm. I'm gonna
YouTube.
tag you on my X.
I think
who
I
are
only
you
had like
on
12.
X? Again, I forgot.
4 Souls 18.
4 Souls, yeah, 18. So
I think I have like
that's
12
Natalie.
followers.
That's okay.
I think half of them might be.
I meant to tag you in the beginning, but
Right.
that's all right. But anyway, we'll be doing this again sometime soon.
Hopefully
so,
next week.
Yeah.
I want to continue back. Well, Vanessa usually is here. Life, and that's the thing. This is real life, real happening real time. We haven't been able to get in the studio, but I would like to make this a regular thing. My goal was at some point having the phone here so that people could call in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And doing live time. I don't know how that works, and that's why I got the Google number. But that's what I would essentially really like to do. That people call in, or if they had any questions, or prepared, that they would call in. They knew that day we were recording, and
Right.
they would call in and have this conversation, so everybody can ask their questions.
For sure.
How we got here. If not everybody can call the city and get the answer that they want
Right. Yeah. No,
when it comes to what we're dealing with, and getting a perspective, of people that do go there, and
Yeah.
a real perspective, not just call in city council and bitch about something that they don't really even know what they're bitching about. That's annoying. Okay, please.
All right. Thank you guys. That's What's Your Shift. Peace out. Stay classy.